Hi, everyone. I'm Petra Valitsa, the founder of Kindred Spirits United.com. It's a website platform featuring three amazing women each month that are doing some incredible things around the world to help women and spread the light and message of opportunity and empowerment for all women of all ages in all countries. And last month, I had a feature of three amazing women, one of which was Monica Montanaro. She has been a good friend of mine, and I first met her when I took a yoga class back when I was living in Prague, Czech Republic. And she actually really inspired me to continue yoga because I hadn't been doing yoga for some time. And after I went to her class, I felt really re energized and just had that kind of wow effect. I think what did it for me was something special she did in her class, which was some chanting, and her voice was just incredible and resonated throughout my whole body and being. And since then, I've been looking at chanting and practicing a little bit of chanting myself. So I want to introduce you to our featured kindred spirit from last month, Monica Montanaro. Thanks for joining me.
Hello, thank you.
Hi. Basically, I just want to hear your story of, how you got into yoga, what speaks to you about it, and most of all, how you got the chanting part in it. So let's just start with how you started to get into yoga in the first place.
Okay, I started practicing yoga when I was living in the UK. It was around 2009. And prior to my first class of yoga, I had spent 3 months in Italy to assist my grandmother's death. So I lived with my grandmother for 3 months, the last 3 months of her life. She had a cancer. So it was a very slow death. So once I got back to my at that time home in close to London, I was feeling I was feeling very sad, and I didn't know how to stop my brain. I didn't know how to stop the pain. I didn't know how to. It was just hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, one morning I said, well, I'm just going to go to the fitness and spend some time at the fitness. Maybe this will help me. And while I was there, I saw the timetable, and I saw yoga class, vinyasa, flow, I think. And so I said, okay, let me try it. So I entered the class.
So you were actually a skeptic at first?
No, it's just I never really thought about yoga. I was doing running. I was doing all sort of different type of exercise, more cardio, more different type of exercise. I've swam in my life. I did fencing. I've done synchronized swimming, but I never thought of doing something like yoga. But to tell you the truth, also, I've been practicing Buddhism for 17 years. And even the Buddhist practice at that time of my mother's illness and my grandmother's death, it just wasn't able to help me to quieten my mind. My mind was going crazy. Um, so I say, okay, I need to try something new that I don't know. I don't know anything about it. And so I attended the class, and it was packed. It was full of people, and the teacher was this lovely English woman with a very gentle, soft voice. She was very tall, very slender, blonde hair. She was looking like an angel, really. And I remember at the end of the class, after the shavasana, when we woke up, that I was actually able to quieten my mind. I was actually able not to think, not to be sad, not to be happy. It was just neutral. It was just something. It was silent. I had silent in my mind. and that I thought it was incredible. And then I felt all, your body, you feel your body in such a different way when you practice yoga. You're so much into depth, you really feel all your organs, your muscles, your skin, everything. So it's like you take a journey. You take a journey, you fly through your body, through your breath, through your organs. You feel so many different things, and you feel there's a moment in which you feel exhausted, moment in which you feel excited, moment in which you feel completely at peace with everything. And so I said, oh, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, it sounds very like a very first powerful experience.
Yes, it was like, oh, I have to do this again
Mm-hmm.
and again and again. And so I kept on going and following this teacher class. And then I followed the teacher's class only in this fitness. And then I followed her on weekends. And then I followed her in India. I followed her all the time. I was always with her, and the people that she managed to gather around her, all her students. So we also created a good, nice community together. It was very nice. I've met a lot of people that during that time helped me a lot. Then to be in London, when the death of my grandmother. It was just yeah. So it was great. It was a great experience event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so with her also, Karen John was the name is the name of my first teacher, Karen John. I went to India twice, and then I got hooked up, and then I've been going to India since 2010, I think. So now I'm going for the seventh time next month.
Wow,
So,
that's incredible. So you're
yes.
going every year now, right?
Yes, I'm going every year, except last year I went. Actually, this year I will be going twice. I went once in February, and now I'm going for 2 months in October, where I will be attending a yoga therapy teachers training to teach yoga to people that have also injuries or
Mm-hmm.
problems with their joints, the muscles. Because right now I'm focusing very much my teaching towards. People that work in office, so they are so much out of their body in a way. They really don't have any idea about feeling their body, their mind, quieting in their mind. They're always in this very fast-paced, stressful lifestyle. So I teach yoga to them, and I see and I notice how their body is weak, how there are areas of their body are really suffering, and so their mind is suffering, so their results at work is suffering, so their social life is suffering, so everything is linked. So I'm hoping when I come back from India with the teachers training about yoga therapy to be able to be more of a support for all these people. So I find it really, really, I like to teach in yoga studio to healthy, young, strong practitioners, but I think the people that need it the most are the ones in office, the ones that don't have the time to drive, to go to a studio, or even the money sometimes, or maybe they have family things, kids, so the mothers, they don't have the time to really cut time for themselves and go to a yoga studio. So I go to them. So I go to their offices, and I teach them yoga, meditation, pranayama, breathing, really being in contact with themselves.
And I know, because I know you a little bit, I think you have a personal reason to focus on that area of yoga as well, because of your shoulder, and that, I don't know if it's an injury or you do have that connection, of trying to overcome pain, let's say. And
Yes, very much.
how has that helped you personally?
Very much so. In fact, I've always been very strong, especially on my shoulders and my back. Being a swimmer, I was always very strong. And then suddenly, a couple of years ago, I started to experience pain in my left shoulder, and to the point that I couldn't move. I couldn't move the arm. I couldn't lift it. I couldn't do anything. And so I was immediately very scared, because I thought, oh my God, how can I teach if my if I don't have my shoulders to support me, how can I show the posture? How can I do all my arm balances? How can I do my inversions? How can I do? There was a lot of ego there, I think, and wanting to, perform the yoga, the asanas. So I never stopped teaching. I started to change my way of teaching, and at the same time, I became a lot more aware of my body and accepting the fact that, okay, my body motions is limited, my mobility is limited, but so it doesn't have to be my practice. The practice is not just about being able to stand on one arm or doing these fancy things. It's really going inward. It's really finding yourself, finding your peace, being in tune with yourself, with whatever body you have. So this is why now I feel a lot more sensitive and a lot more prone to teach to people that have injuries or limited mobility.
I love that actually, because I find, I don't know, especially here since I've moved to the US, I find a lot of people are almost afraid of doing yoga because they think it's just for those who are physically fit or can do, those challenging yoga poses. And
Yeah, that's the marketing, I'm afraid. Yeah. That's
right.
a lot of marketing. And if you go on Instagram and you look for yoga, you see these incredible women, rolling themselves like pretzels and doing incredible things. But it is not just, it is not at all about that. It's not at all about that.
Do you find that because you've been to India that you look at it from that more inner perspective, or is it you mentioned you had the Buddhism background, or that's just always something that's been with you?
Buddhism has been with me since I was 20, in my 20s, because I wanted to destroy diabetes because I suffer from diabetes type 1. So the reason why I started the Buddhism was that I wanted to get rid of it. Absolutely, 100%. It has to go. It can't stay with me.
Gone.
Yes. So, and in a way, I did accomplish this task. In a way, Buddhism helped me to get rid of diabetes as something that would affect me in a negative way. I learned with Buddhism to appreciate even the obstacles that I have to face with diabetes. And the diabetes itself helped me to listen to myself much better. Because every day I have to find a balance.
Right.
Every day I have to choose the right food, the right amount of sports or activities, and even how much stress I can handle so that my blood sugar level doesn't go crazy. So Buddhism helped me a lot in that. And then going to India, in fact, it's not that going to India helped me, is a lot more the people I've met. And so the teacher I have met, the teacher I'm following now since about 3 years, is the one that made me understand the importance of yoga, not from a physical point of view, but mostly from a meditative point of view, from a mental point of view. So he's been teaching me meditation and how to go inward, even if you do the asana, the postures. Even if they're simple, there has to be 100% your attention. So something that I was never taught before.
Wow.
So having the ability to stay 100% focused, even into your standing position or into a simple forward bend, and feeling every single inch of your body, feeling your breath guiding you into the posture. Asana is meditation as well. So, and then the asanas also will help you and guide you to be able to sit for half an hour completely still and to focus on to your breath, which is, it sounds like an easy thing, but challenge anyone to be seated even on a chair comfortably and not moving.
Oh, I know. I've tried that in meditation, and it's very difficult, even for 5 minutes.
Yes, it's very difficult. So it's really experiencing the stillness that it's in your body, and that stillness is so enriching at the end. It's so enriching. So I try to practice every single morning, and every single morning to do my meditation and my asana, and going back to my shoulder was this constant and continuous and never stop practicing. Even the simple postures, it kept me going, and it never I never got to be completely frozen. The shoulder had always a little bit of mobility. And I went a couple of times to India trying to practice with my teacher. He was giving me modification. And then, of course, when he told me that he was about to start the teacher's training for yoga therapy, he told me that probably this would be a good course for me to first understand myself and how to deal with my own injuries, despite I've been trying to do that already intuitively on my own, and also to help other people. But I think it's really important to understand that yoga and meditation is not separate from the rest of our life.
Mm,
It's all together.
right.
So it is not just, okay, from 5 to 6, I'm going to do yoga and then I'm going to be healthy. If then from 7, from 6 to midnight, I'm going to go crazy or, do things that will actually destroy my body rather than enriching or you still have to look after yourself 24 hours a day. It's not just that 1 hour of yoga, it's going to make the magic. If then you're still eating badly or not drinking water or going to alcohol or sleep 3 hours a night or, or hang out with the wrong people. So you need to look at yoga as a holistic concept. Like it's not just about being able to be sitting in the lotus pose. It's everything you choose for yourself.
It's really a lifestyle and a way of living life. And
Yes, it is a lifestyle. In fact, sometimes I do struggle saying, yeah, but in India it's easy. You just do yoga every day, all day. You do nothing else. And when you come home, then you have to work, and there's a social life. You don't want to exclude yourself completely from the rest of the world. There's family commitments and this and that. So it's always the intelligence. You need to use yoga in an intelligent way to be smart enough to connect all those things and make it in a way and live your day in a way that it's in line with your value and in line with the things that you've chosen. So
what do you recommend then for, the busy mom or the busy woman going to work? I mean, I find that I even have problems, keeping the practice every day and being consistent with it. Even though, what do you recommend?
But this is something that is not just about busy moms. It's challenging to keep your self-practice, especially if you don't have a teacher to follow or somebody that will motivate you. It's very hard to wake up and just walk on your mat. So one of my private clients is a wonderful woman. She's about in her 40s, mid-40s. She has 3 kids, a full-time job, and a husband. And I have to tell you, her life is super busy. Nevertheless, she never skipped a class of yoga, and with me once a week. And during the other days of the week, she practiced early morning before her kids wake up.
Wow.
So, of course, you need discipline. You need discipline. You need to want to do it. It's something that has to come from yourself. You have to, and at the beginning is hard, but then it will build up as a routine, as your routine. As you brush your teeth or you take breakfast, so your routine will be waking up half an hour earlier. You don't have to do an hour and a half yoga. You can do one day you do your half an hour meditation, and then you do a few sun salutation, and then you're done. In 40 minutes you're done. So it's of course it's a compromise, but it's better than nothing. It's better than saying I don't have time or forget it, because then if you say I don't have time, you always find excuses, so you never really experience the benefit of it, of practicing yoga or meditation. So you will read all these yoga books and say how amazing, and then you say to yourself, yeah, but I don't have time. So nobody has time these days because we rush and our days are so full and so busy that nobody has time. We have to make it. It's a choice.
Right, which makes it that much more important to incorporate it into our day, into our daily lives.
And it doesn't have to be 4 hours, and it doesn't have to be super long. You can, take 20 minutes in the morning or half an hour, then you maybe do some other yoga posture stretching before going to bed. So until you realize that your body needs it, and so your body automatically will request it, and it's not going to be anymore something difficult to do. It's going to be something that you need to do. You feel like you have to do it because you will feel the difference from the day you've practiced yoga and the day you haven't. So it's challenging, especially in India. You wake up at 5 in the morning because everything starts very early. They wake up very early in India, and the first thing they do is to practice. And I practice 1.5 hours, and then the day starts. So I remember last year I had to substitute my yoga teacher and teach her class one morning, and I said, okay, when does your class start? And she said 5:15.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yikes.
Yeah, of course, she said. People go to work.
Oh my goodness.
So she had Indian students coming to the shala 5:15 or 5:30, something like that, doing their practice, 1 hour practice, then have the time to go back home, wake up their kids, do breakfast, prepare them for school, and then go to work. See, it's a whole different way of thinking.
It is.
Whereas here in the West, waking up early is like very, 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 it's a too strong commitment, waking up early. So people do yoga rather late in the evening, which is okay. I mean, you're still doing yoga, it's okay. But then the yoga teacher, they also are affected from it, because often I have 2 or 3 times a week, I have a class that ends at 9:30 in the evening. By the time I'm home, it's like 10:30. By the time, then I haven't eaten yet. So I should skip eating, because eating after, at 10:30 is too late. So everything, but nevertheless, if you're smart enough to make the good choices, then you're able not to miss your yoga practice the morning after. So this is what I try to do. I try to find always a good balance between my daily life activities and the practice. Because I feel the difference. I feel different when I don't.
That is true. I mean, I even notice it if I just do meditation for 10 minutes in the morning. I feel that much more energized than if, I'm lazy and I just go get my coffee for that energy boost. There is a difference there.
Yes, but I notice that if I wake up and I start to walk around the house, I'll never do my practice. That's a very good. Yeah. No, you have to wake up, put your yoga clothes, whatever, and go into your yoga corner. Mm-hmm. And as my teacher always says, always do the practice in the same place. Always do the meditation in the same place. Sit always in the same way. Sit always directed in the same wall, whatever. And that will become your happy place. That will be the place that even when you're stressed, will be enough to sit there for 10 minutes and you feel the positive vibration of your meditation. So keep it regular, keep it disciplined, always the same time. So what I do, I wake up, I go upstairs, I practice, and then afterwards, I come down and I say, okay, I'm here, I exist now for the world. But for an hour and a half after I wake up, I don't exist. The telephone is switched off. And today I had a lovely experience. I was doing my meditation for half an hour, and I decided to count backwards. Because very often the hardest part of meditation is really to keep the mind focused. So I said, how can I do that? How can I do that? And I started to count from 50 to 1 backwards. So I was doing 50 inhale, 49 exhale, 48 inhale, 47 exhale. And I counted like this until number 20. And then from 20 to 1, I only counted the inhalation. So 20 inhale, 19 inhale. So I wasn't counting the exhalation. So it went a little slower. And I did this 4 rounds of 50. So basically 200 inhalation was my half an hour meditation. And that kept me so wonderfully focused. I wasn't thinking what to do today, how's the weather, I need to wash my car, what am I going to prepare for lunch, oh, my foot is going to sleep, oh, this posture is so uncomfortable, or any of these things, because I was counting. I couldn't lose count, because if you lose count, then you have to start from scratch. So if you lose your counting, then you have to start from scratch. Then I just noticed that when I got to 20, it was harder to keep me focused because I wasn't counting the exhalation. So that fraction of a second when I was exhaling, my mind could have just gone off to another planet. So it was, oh no, bring it back to number 19. I have to remember that the next one is 19. So, and this is a new thing that I'm trying. I tried it today for the first time. And it was super effective. I really loved it. So I think I'm gonna keep on doing this, this counting until I can feel confident enough that my brain can stay focused onto something.
That's a great tool. I'm gonna try that, except I might start with 20 instead of 50, at least in the beginning. Just to have some closing comments. I know you are giving retreats in Italy. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that and when the next one is, and just share with us your website, and that information would be great.
Yes, so I've been taking groups to Sicily for yoga retreat for a week, and there we do so we do our yoga practice in the morning. We have our meditation, and well, and of course the place is super relaxing. It's very nice. The weather is wonderful. There is the sea, so people can go and explore during the day the area. And Sicily is always a place where a lot of people want to go, but they're afraid or it's too far. So this is a nice way to combine the two things, you know, the traveling experience and the yoga. What I think it was very important this year was I really gave a lot of attention to the meditation. So I really taught the meditation the Indian style, where how my teacher teaches, and I have to say it was very interesting. I had a lot of reaction, a lot of people, a couple of people having, you know, tears the first few days, not understanding what was going on. It's quite challenging, and they realize how challenging it is to focus their mind. So we started with 15 minutes, and then by the end of the week, we actually managed to do the half an hour meditation, which was like a huge milestone for everyone to achieve. I will certainly do it again in probably in September next year, because I would like to do a yoga retreat in the winter, sometimes end of February or March 2017. This time not in Sicily. I'm looking at Madeira or the Canary Islands, or somewhere where it's still warm compared to the weather temperature in Europe. And everything will be written on my website, which is www.monicamontanaro.com, and everything will be there. All the updates will be posted on my website. So I hope people will enjoy. I had 2 persons coming from the US this year, straight from New York, and they came down to Sicily, which they found really interesting and fulfilling. It was quite nice to have people so far away actually coming to Sicily.
That's great.
Yes.
You are actually, just for the audience, you're currently practicing in Brussels.
I'm currently teaching and practicing in Brussels. I have started in London, then I've taught in Slovenia, and then again in Czech Republic, in Prague, and now in Brussels and in Belgium, yes, and of course in Italy when I go to Italy, yes. So that's quite nice. Yeah, being a traveling teacher.
Yes, definitely. Well, thanks so much for sharing your story. And again, I highly recommend anyone who's interested in yoga or combining the two, yoga and travel, to check out her retreat next year. I personally am been wanting to go for some time and am going to make a dedicated effort to sign up. So do visit her website, monicamontanaro.com, and also don't forget to go on kindredspiritsunited.com to see her full story and the story of all the other amazing women that are featured each month. So again, Monica, thank you so much, and we will talk
Thank
to you.
you. Namaste.
Namaste. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.